The Secret Society. The SUPERFIXER Corporation is one of the largest and most recent oil explorers of today. Thanks to its expansion of oil fields found in recent years in Texas, its production has been beating its competitors worldwide. But there is one field in particular that, after much research, was discovered and has characteristics different from the crude oil that is consumed. These details are very well guarded, and the secret of its composition simply yields a greater oil production, generating approximately twice the consistency when refined for consumption. This type of fuel became known as nilagas. Despite having a different composition, this fuel, besides being much better and profitable, perfectly suits other conventional fuels, but with another differential. It can be consumed by different types of vehicles, both gasoline, ethanol, and diesel. The owner of SUPERFIXER Corporation is Peter Dreyfus, heir to the first oil fields discovered by his family since the days of the American Old West, when they began researching and exploring oil production on a large scale. Legend has it that on a lucky day in the 1890s, when digging a well with just over 20 meters deep, oil gushed, and his family became millionaires from that moment on. But there has always been much mystery regarding the rise of the company and business in the oil exploration market. The discovery of nilagas is also the subject of much secrecy about the true story of its origin, its manufacture, and the technology employed. To this day, no researcher or oil explorer can explain how its production is really done, which makes the fuel extremely powerful and bluish in color. One day Peter received a communication from an unknown sender. "We want our share of the deal. Your great-grandfather assured us participation in energy through the fuel we manufacture. SUPERFIXER Corporation owes us total exploration from today until its end. You must go to the Central Nilagas Exploration Station tonight and accept our orders." Peter laughed and threw away the communication, thinking it was a bluff or a tasteless joke. But days later, the exploration came to an end, and suddenly the world record for barrels practically zeroed out, ending Nilagas production. Unconvinced, Peter went at night to the main exploration field of SUPERFIXER Corporation, at the location previously mentioned in the mysterious communication. Peter did not understand why he had to be there, alone and at a scheduled time, at the central point of the extraction plant, but concerned about the situation of SUPERFIXER Corporation, he ended up staying at the site, waiting for something to happen. After waiting for hours at night in the area that was several floors above the base, he began to notice a strange movement in the elevator he used to reach the top floor. The elevator started to descend rapidly, and when it reached the ground, it continued as if it were drilling the ground miles below. Peter began to feel dizzy and short of breath, with the temperature rising too much, and he almost lost consciousness. Lying on the floor of the elevator, he saw when the elevator finally stopped and a side door opened, refreshing the environment. In search of air, Peter walked through this opening and arrived in a very different environment, a huge room with a large screen and a sophisticated space with translucent walls and floor. Terrified by the situation, he still understood by listening to the audio message echoing in the place. An extraterrestrial being appeared in a huge holographic image, warning Peter to leave the exploration so that they could take over. "We made a deal with the first oil explorers long ago. In decades to come, we would return to finally lead the production and exploration of SUPERFIXER Corporation, as we called it. The time has come for us to take full control. Do not disappoint us. We will be relentless if you break the contract made with us long ago." Peter ran out and returned to the elevator but lost consciousness, only realizing a rapid elevation and seeing nothing more. He only woke up hours later with a security guard asking him to leave the area, as it was very dangerous to stay there in that place at night. He concluded that he had fallen asleep and that nothing had been real. He even asked the security guard if such an elevator descended below ground level, which was denied. In the following days, Peter was surprised by the resumption of SUPERFIXER Corporation's explorations. Inexplicably, extractions had dropped to zero, with no levels of production for nilagas fuel. but suddenly oil began to reappear in the extraction field. He continued for weeks to re-establish production without worrying about the fearful experience that always came to his memory. The alien warning was clear in his mind. The image of the leader had threatened him if he did not stop production and leave the plant, to have a clear path for extraterrestrial exploration. Insisting on the resumption of the company, Peter continued his power project without caring about the threat. One day, upon arriving in his office, his computer suddenly turned on, displaying a text message on the screen. "You did not fulfill our agreement. In addition to destroying the location and the entire SUPERFIXER Corporation plant, we will send a message to your grandson, who will inevitably be your heir from now on. He will know how to act in the future when he reads the message sent, and then we will make a new contract with him." Peter laughed, thinking it was some prank once again. However, this was his last act. He could not leave in time before the huge explosion that destroyed the entire SUPERFIXER Corporation, leaving behind much loss and total destruction of the plant. Years later, his adult grandson saw an enigmatic message on his computer, also from an unknown sender. "Do not turn your back as your grandfather Peter did, or you will end up like him. SUPERFIXER Corporation has insurance and will rise again as an oil exploration company and will resume producing Nilagas. We want our share. We have been your partners for a long time. We want the extraction and the wealth of your planet. This was the agreement, and we have been your partners since forever. We can prove with a clear and specific detail through the name we created as SUPERFIXER. Reverse the name, read it backwards, and know who your true partners are. Alien oil. Alien oil. Alien oil." Superfixer is a sci-fi short story channel, serving as the catalyst for concepts about technology, science, the universe, and science fiction.